I've been as guilty of this as anybody on this planet. Believing that it was somebody else who was holding me back from my dream. Somebody was holding me back from the vision that I had in my life, right? I used to believe that it first was my parents' fault, right? If they didn't cultivate this gift in me, if they didn't continue to pour into me, if they didn't continue to encourage me, then I could not live my dream out. Then I blamed the greater society or friends and peers and colleagues and things of that nature, right? If they only understood, if they only supported, if they only contributed, then my dreams would come into fruition. Then I believed it was just society as a whole, right? If society just understood how important this message was, they would gravitate to it. They are the reason why this is not working. But you know what? The one person in this entire ring around the rosy I was doing, the one person I didn't look at until this point in my life was this guy. This guy right here, right? They say, who's got two thumbs and is to blame for why things didn't work out the way I wanted them to? This guy, right? There was only one party who was responsible, and it was always me. As a matter of fact, the only thing that was really in my way was not what seemed to be in the way. It was not any challenges, any hurdles, right? Those can be overcome, like whether it's a mindset shift, a skill set shift, or whatever shift it may be. The only true thing in my way was my own excuses. That was the only thing that stopped me from doing what I needed to do in order to get to where I wanted to go. Every single time. Before I wrote that book, before I even started drafting Doing Me Guilt-Free, I remember being in a place where I just thought to myself, like, man, okay, I'm self-published, but, it's hard to self-publish. Or, well, am I really even an author? Well, I first have to do this. Well, how hard it is. I had all these ruminating thoughts, are people even still reading books, right? Oh man, if only people read books more, then I could be a success in my authorship. I had every excuse which kept me from writing the book. And once I got those excuses out of the way, once I said, you know what, let me just write the book. Let me just write the thing. And then when it's done, I'm gonna edit it one time and then I'm gonna ship it off, right? Then I'm gonna just put on the market. Whatever response it gets is whatever response it gets. Once I made that decision, immediately it started to come to me. It poured out of me. It literally just happened, right? It seemed like overnight. Well, over quite a few nights, but seemingly it happened in no time. And that was because I finally devoted myself to that process. I finally devoted myself to, man, if I just do this thing, what will happen? As opposed to, these are the reasons I cannot do this thing. And that's where a lot of us find ourselves. We find ourselves, sometimes with the justification blaming the people around us. Maybe you had the least supportive parents in the world. Maybe they didn't want you to pursue the thing that you are now pursuing. Maybe they were against what you are doing, because there's some who are indifferent. And, that hurts sometimes. Actually, it hurts a lot most times. But when they are against your dream and your vision, that one is a different kind of hurdle, right? When they're trying to stop you from doing the thing that you are doing, that's a whole nother game. And more power to you if you're the type of individual who goes through that, right? Who aspires through that. Because if you can get through that, especially those who love you most and they're opposing what you got going on, if you can get through that, you can get through anything. Like nothing is ever going to stop you from pursuing what you want to do. You're the type of person that us black folk, we say, you just going to do what you're going to do, right? You're one of them kids. You just going to do what you're going to do. Man, he's just going to do what he's going to do. And you're going to be all right. But for those of you who might have indifference, right? You might be in a place where you're not getting the support that you think you should be getting. You put the book out, but every family member ain't got themselves a copy yet. You're thinking to yourself, oh man, if only they had, if only they would. As opposed to, the only person I need to make my dream turn into a reality, the only person I need to believe in my vision is me. Why? Because I'm the one who got the vision in the first place. I'm the one who got the God-given message to do whatever it is on this earth. And so it is my responsibility to play that out. And the ones who resonate with it will show up. So when I first started making, TikToks from 0 followers and 0 anything, to like 10K now, right? Or when I was, making one type of content on IG and thought to myself, man, I'm going for music and now I'm talking. Is it going to work? And then now I'm in a place where my following has literally grown by 150 times, right? Well, 150x, I guess you would say. 150 more percent. Not 150x, 150%. Let's go with that one. Well, it is going to be one day 150x, but Right now it's about 150%. So anyway, the moment I made the decision wasn't the moment that everybody poured in. It wasn't because people outside were now clapping, right? There was people outside the door. They couldn't wait for me, outside the window. They couldn't wait for me to film. No, there was nobody there. Nobody was cheering me on. Nobody was telling me, go get it, go do it. I believe in you. There was none of that. None of that messaging was going on externally, but it was within myself. Now, it wasn't that loud as it is at this point in my life, right? Because I've cultivated that belief system. I've cultivated that self-image and seeing myself in a very different way. But back then, it was a quiet little, hey, we can do this. Let's just put one out today. Okay, let's see what happens. Ooh, talk about this, right? Oh, that sounds like it would be something fun to talk about. Okay, look at that. Okay, 10 people. All right, we got 10 likes on that. Dope. Look at that. 10 more people heard. Oh, wow. Okay. That one, 1,000 views. I mean, that was just that was slight work, really. Now it's like, bruh, I'm not going to stop. I don't care if it was 5 people or 5 million people. I'm going to be the same level of turned up, the same level of intensity, because I know that my own vision, my own dream is in my own hands. And so I treat it as such. I treat it with respect, right? Coach Bobby Bluford and I talk about this all the time. You got to honor your gift. You got to honor what is within you. You got to honor the assets that you have within your life. When you take an honest reflection and appraisal of your life, or an audit of your life, you'll start to see that you got so many gifts that you've been undervaluing because other people told you they weren't valuable. Like, imagine if Michael Jordan, right? Greatest player of all time. I don't want no arguments in the comments. Well, actually, we can go at it. I'll drop some stats on you, right? But Michael Jordan, greatest NBA player, greatest basketball player, arguably of all time. And yet he comes into a soccer stadium, right? Them soccer fans could care. I mean, they'll think, dope celebrity, but they could care less about Michael Jordan's skill set. They could care less about his greatness because it has got nothing to do with soccer. They're thinking about some Messi. They're thinking about some Ronaldo. But as soon as Michael steps back onto that basketball court where his fans are, now his value is exponential. Now his value is greatest player of all time. And so we have to take a reevaluation of every single one of our gifts and stop looking at other people to value us. Stop looking for other people to check off, right? Especially not the ones in our environment. Usually those aren't the ones who we're supposed to speak to or speak into. They have an opportunity, right? They got an opportunity to tap in. They got an opportunity to be blessed by your gift. But if it's not what they value, then they're not going to see the value in it. When Chris Tucker was growing up and his family was saying, man, this kid right here is going to end up locked up or, in the streets or something. Because all he does is just joke around all day. All he does is tell jokes in class. He ain't got no grades to show for it, but all he does is joke all day. That's how his family viewed him at first. All of a sudden, he found himself being cast into a little movie by the name of Rush Hour for a teeny weeny $10 million. And then for the second one, I believe a teeny weeny $20 million. And now all of a sudden, his family thinks he's gold. Because what they value is other people's evaluation and money, of course, right? But he always valued what he had. He always valued the fact that he was hilarious. And he would take that talent into places where they could recognize that gift. And so for yourself, it is important to get yourself into the spaces where they value, as Carrie Nicole says, right? Get into the spaces where you are valued, where your gift is valued. And then you will be able to see your value reflected every single time. But before you can find that arena, before you do find that arena, find it within yourself. Because also, you don't want to get hooked to their validation. You don't want to get hooked to, am I funny to them? Are you funny to you? Like, do you enjoy your brand? Like for me, when I was first doing videos, I was into it, but not fully into it because I wasn't really myself. I wasn't the whole way myself, right? Like this person right here, I'm sporadic here, there, whatever, right? Direct, turned up half the time. Sometimes I might be back, but sometimes I might be turned up in your face. This person that you are witnessing is, at this very moment, the realest I can be on here. And that is what I enjoy most. This is the type of discourse and dialogue that resonates with me most. And so I'm able to receive that from myself as I'm doing it. I mean, I'm recording this right now. Literally, it's just me in a room. It's me and a camera, and I'm loving this. When I'm writing the books, it's just me and that piece of paper. Is just me and that empty section. That's all there is. And then I just let my mind go and I just fall into the process. I fall into flow state. Boom. And then I appear on the other side, and we got Doing Me Guilt-Free, which you're about to get you a copy of by clicking the link in the description below. That's what happens when you start to live in alignment with who you truly are, as opposed to looking for other people to value you, to evaluate you, to have your family and your friends. You want to have a damn cookout, right? The moment you make a decision to start your business, woo, you want a parade. That's not how it works. You have to cultivate the belief in you first, right? I remember 50 Cent said, when I first started my career, or when I started taking off, blowing up, etc., putting out the mixtapes and people were recognizing him before Get Rich or Die Trying, he said, people thought I was so cocky, but they didn't understand that I had to cultivate this level of self-belief just to make it into the industry, right? I had to believe in me so much because nobody else did, that I came off as cocky once I got there, because it was just me and me, right? I'm having to literally hype myself up. If you look at like a Conor McGregor, same thing. If you watch, I think it's Undefeated or Unsomething, right? It's a documentary that was on Netflix. Conor McGregor, you got to check this out. Manifestation at its most beautiful. Mwah. You see him start in his mother's apartment. Him and his girl are literally sleeping on the couch in mama's apartment. And you just see like this switch and this takeoff, and he becomes Conor McGregor, right? The fighter we know today. Whatever your opinion is of this man, one thing you cannot take away from him is his mindset. He is set on victory. He is set on winning in life, period. Not just, in that ring. You got to get to a space where you are absolutely given over to your purpose, given over to your vision. And everybody around you will look at you and think you have lost it. Trust me. I probably got some family looking at me like, what is he doing? What's he doing again? What's he got going on? And then one day they look back and say, oh, that's what he was doing. And they might swarm in and start supporting at that moment, right? But that no longer matters to me, because their evaluation of me is not what brought me to that place. It was my evaluation of me. And again, if you came to a place of quote unquote success, and it wouldn't really be success because other people kind of push you into that role, then they can easily pull you out. They are your power base, right? That happens to a lot of these people who, go viral off one video or whatever may happen to them, and they don't really have a grounding in themselves. They don't really have a belief system within themselves. And so when they take off, now they're in the spotlight and they think to themselves, damn, like I got to keep up appearances. I got to look this way, do this. And they're so inauthentic, and then they fall off because the crowd is no longer accepting them. But when it's in you, you can't fall off. 50 Cent is probably more influential in society now than I don't know about more, but he is as influential now in society than he was then, as a businessman as well as a television producer, right? I think he has like 3 or at least 2 of like the top 5 shows in the last whatever, right? With Power and BMF. This guy has literally cranked out in the film industry the equivalent of what he has done in the music industry. He's gotten triple, quadruple platinum within film or television, as he has in his prior lifetime or his prior career. And so when I view that, what I think to myself is, that's the power of belief in yourself. If that is the power of belief in yourself, that's the only type of belief that I truly need. Everybody else will buy into your belief of you. That's what happens. When you see somebody who starts to have this huge buzz and huge following, etc., it's because they started believing in themselves so much that the world could not help but do so. Even if what you think or what you see them making or putting out into the world you think is trash, they believe in themselves, they're going to take off, period. And they're going to stay in that space so long as they believe in what they are doing, period. You might look at Tyler Perry and think to yourself, Madea, how did that become $1 billion enterprise? Because the man behind Madea cared and cultivated and had such a deep sense of belief behind Madea that there was no way it would not take off globally and become this $1 billion brand that it now is. Shout out to Tyler Perry. So as I wrap this one up, plug it in. My first published book, Doing Me Guilt-Free. Make sure to get yourself a copy by clicking the link in the description or pinned in the comment section. If I haven't pinned it yet, whoever's watching and putting comments out there, please make sure to find that link and pin it into or put it into the comment section, and I will pin your comment to the top. Till next time, namaste. Namaste.